Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, buckle up with me. Get you a pen and pad. Sit down at night. You should be probably sitting in your bed or something like that with a notepad, because I want to talk to you about some things. But I'm gonna go just in a flow. I don't have note cards or anything like that, but so you'll have to move some things around based on your life and your schedule. But I want to share this with you because this was placed in my spirit just because a lot of you are under witchcraft and you don't know it. And a lot of you are under spells and you don't know it. And there's a lot of practices from different demonic arenas that are being used by prophetess mostly. Some prophets, more so the prophets they're just for the money, but a lot of prophetess that I'm seeing are actually into witchcraft and just a lot of demonic sorcery, but they're hiding behind God. But they're putting you through these different practices and seances and spells, and you don't really realize it. And the reason why a lot of you don't realize it is because you come from witchcraft in your life without realizing it. So all the way back to the Ouija board, horoscopes, zodiac signs, all the astrology. Somebody was pointing out that one of the women of God, or whatever you want to call it, name is from astronomy. And it's that type of stuff that's happening. So I want you to think about this. Now, first thing what you have to realize is you have to plan your tomorrows today. I believe I could have learned that from Stephen R. Covey or somebody like that. Planning your tomorrows today. And what I mean by that is everything should be on your schedule. So today you have to look at tomorrow and you have to see what you need to get done, but you need to plan it out all the way down to the quarter hour, meaning in 15-minute increments. Like, depending on your personality and depending on your schedule, you may have to plan your life down to a quarter of an hour. Some people can do every half an hour and some people can do hourly, but you have to give it a plan. Now, when you look at tomorrow, now some people, if your mind is a certain way, then you don't have to write it down. But if you don't write it down, you could at least put it in your phone calendar. If you don't know how to use your phone calendar, type in how to use Galaxy Note, Samsung, whatever, iPhone, whatever, calendar. Type it into YouTube. It'll show you how to use your calendar. And you click on that calendar. You're going to click that plus sign. You're going to type in what you got to do. You're going to select the time that event starts, and you select the end time. And then up under it, you're going to select an alert. So it'll alert you with a notification. And then you also can select repeat, like how often you want to repeat it. And you can set it for every day. And that's how I do mine. So I have certain things in my calendar that it's on the calendar every single day. So that even if I can't get it done that day, it still pops up. And it may be like, okay, this isn't the day that I do that. But sometimes setting it custom could be a little too complicated. So you set it like that and it's just there. And especially if it's something you need to get done and there's a time limit on it. So if I'm writing a book, I will have it pop up at a certain time every day, work on the book. So that every day I'm reminded to work on the book. Now, when you are planning your days, you want to think about the things that's most important first. So one of those things is reading your Bible. This doesn't have to be a super long thing. What a lot of people do is they overdo it and they'll read their Bible for an hour, 2 hours, and they're crying and they snotting and they slain in the spirit. And it takes so much of a toll on the body that they'll do that one day and then won't do it for 3 months, won't do it for 2 months or a month or 3 weeks. just do small increments. So if you start with 5 minutes and you work up to 10 minutes, you work up to 15 minutes, it takes conditioning. Like you just don't jump in right away. Just like how a baby starts on breast milk and then goes to the little soft food, then goes to, harder food, and works their way up to where they could eat steak and what have you. But before that, eating steak and broccoli, it's just mashed up broccoli. And so think about that with what you do. So you put your time with the Lord on there. You also want to take time out for your body. So it doesn't have to be the same thing every day. Like, I didn't get to go to the gym today. So as I was lifting groceries and carrying stuff, as I'm carrying it, I may curl it. I do a few curls with it as I'm carrying it, and just to get some extra calorie burn. And I had a 48 pack of water, which 48 20-ounce bottles of water, no, 17-ounce bottles of water, is pretty heavy. So I stacked 2 of them. So now I'm carrying 96 bottles of water, and it was heavy, but I did it like a farmer's carry, and I was breathing with it. So it was a little workout. So be mindful of that as well, because you might have a big campus that you got to walk around, whether it's your work or school or what have you. Turn that into a workout so that you actually counting your steps, like you getting your steps, whether your phone counting it or your watch counting it. So you want to work on your spirit. That's where you reading your Bible. And with that, you pray before, you pray after. It doesn't have to be long, drawn out praise with a whole bunch of words. You ain't got to be slain in the spirit, speaking in tongues and all of that. God know your heart. You ain't got nobody to impress. Just say a regular prayer. Say the prayer just like the Bible instruct you to. And for those of y'all people who you know how to Google certain scriptures that you welcome to put the scriptures in the comments. Don't be in there trying to sow discord and all of that. You will get blocked. So watch yourself with that. But just how the Bible tells us how to pray, and that God knows what's on our heart before it even come out of our mouth. And that some people try to, be impressive with all the big words and all the long drawn out prayers. And the Bible let us know all that ain't necessary. So you praying before, you reading, you praying after. That's your spirit. You also working on your body every single day. That's your workout. There's so many people that say that they want to get married, but they not working on their body. They working on their spirit, but your body is a reflection of where your spirit at. So you can tell where somebody's spirit is based on where their body is 9 out of 10 times. And that's just the truth of the matter. So you have to be very, very diligent with working on your body as you working on your mind and your spirit. And so you have that on there. The next thing what you want to do also is you want to feed your mind with knowledge. So you're getting wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from the Holy Bible. But if there is something you need to be learning, that could be like one of these YouTube videos. It could be a certain book you're reading on building business, on marketing, on what have you. It could be another type of book you're reading, or show you watching, or podcast you listen to. So you want to get knowledge. You want to feed your mind in that area, in whatever area you focused on. You getting all the knowledge. As a personal example, what I would do is, if it's something I'm working on and I need to learn it, I will Google it and I will read like 4 to 10 articles about it. And then I will go to YouTube and I will search it several different ways, and I'll watch like 4 to 10 different people teach on that topic. And then after doing that, now I have a general knowledge of how to pick stocks, what a ETF is, what a Roth IRA is, what an IRA is, how does Bitcoin and cryptocurrency work. You got to get knowledge. It's so many people that are just left in the blind and know nothing about nothing. Just because you weren't taught those things growing up does not mean you should remain in that space, not doing the things, not learning the things you need to learn about. So anytime you hear a word, don't just hear the word and say, oh, I don't know what that means, I don't care. No, Google it and look it up. If I'm on an email chain with millionaires and billionaires, and there's a deal getting done to the tune of millions, if one of the guys or gals write an email and they use an abbreviation and I don't know what that abbreviation is, I Google what is such in investing. And then it'll show me like, okay, real equity value or some type of thing, or it'd be real profit after expenses. And they will have used this abbreviation and I could just look at it and try to guess it, but I literally Google it and then I learn what it means. And I just, after doing that, it's like I'm getting smarter. So now I can go into any room and I can understand what they're talking about because I've looked it up. Google is a great consultant. Don't spend any money. What I mean by that is when you Google things, you're gonna find sharks in the water. And these sharks will charge you crazy amounts of money to do this or do that for you. But if you do a little bit more Googling, you'll realize that you could do it yourself and it's not that complicated. One example is if you go to like a hedge fund manager or you go to a financial manager, those people have fees. But if you don't have $10 million to invest, investing is not that, your investing strategy doesn't have to be that serious. So you can go and sign up on Vanguard, which has been around for over 200 years. And if you make under 280,000, I think it is, you can get a Roth IRA. And that Roth IRA, you can contribute up to $6,000 or $7,000. You know, Google, how much can I contribute to a Roth IRA? And then with that Roth IRA, when you set that up on Vanguard, the money's just going to be sitting in sort of like a money market account where you can take and direct the money and you can Google best performing Vanguard fund. And it may come back like blogs and articles on like Money Wise and Smart Pocket and Money Wallet and all these different Nerd Wallet. All these articles will pop up and they'll say top 10 funds on Vanguard. So you may see one and it's like VTSIX and it'll have these numbers on there and it'll tell you the expense ratio. It'll tell you the annual yield and it'll have all these different breakdowns. Google each one of those things. What does expense ratio mean? What does annual return mean? So now, after reading 4 different articles, you've now found what is the best Vanguard fund. And you can go right to Vanguard and you look at the expense ratio. So that's letting you know how much is this fund going to be charging you? What is this fund going to cost? And because one might be 0.11, another might be 0.004. So now you can choose the one based on the knowledge that you've gained. You choose that fund and now your funds are directed to that fund. So instead of sitting in this kind of like money market account earning a little bit of money, you can have it in a fund that actually has some track record, some performance history that you see where, wow, okay, in 2020, 2021, this fund did 24% return. So let me put my money here because in a good market, this thing gonna do numbers way better than this very, very simple and safe money market account. So just by doing some Googling, you ain't paying nobody nothing because bloggers and YouTubers have to give away this information for free in order to build their blog and to build their YouTube channel. So you're getting master's degree level information free of charge. You don't have to go pay somebody to do that. Now, it's different if you got millions and millions or billions, and now you got to get deep, deep, deep into your financial strategy. But all you trying to do is put some money on the market every week or every month so that when you're 65 years old, you have benefited from compound interest and you got a lump sum of money that you can withdraw from and you can travel the world and you can live your life, bless your kids or your grandkids or friends or family or favorite charities or what have you, because you put up something of your income, anywhere from 1 to 20%, whatever you can afford. And now you're able to do that. So get that knowledge on whatever it is you're working on that day as well. And excuse me for that long explanation, but I'm not talking to y'all who are, you already well versed in all this. What I'm speaking to the babes. I'm speaking to the babies in this here space of self-development, personal development. And one of the things I noticed is that a lot of the speakers today and teachers are not really teaching anything. They kind of just talking about themselves, or they warfare, or they haters all the time and not really teaching nothing. So on here, I want you to understand you're going to need a pen and pad because you're going to be getting talked to. Now, the things when you planning your tomorrows today, you got to get the things that really matters. So like the other little errands, like do the laundry, cook a meal, you put those things on there, but you want to make sure that your spirit is fed and that your mind is fed and that your body is exercised. You want to make sure those three things happen every single day. Then outside of that, you're going to have a block of time where you are working. You on your job. And if you out of work, you unemployed, then you working on your dream job, your purpose, your business. You working on that, doing all the research, doing all the legwork, doing everything you need to do. And then what you also can do is you can pre-plan your meals. So that way you don't have to have any guesswork tomorrow when you're tired or you're stressed or you're overworked or you are in a time crunch. You already have what you're supposed to eat for breakfast written down, what you're going to eat for lunch written down, what you're going to eat for dinner written down. You also have to, in your day-to-day, when you're getting knowledge, you got to learn about your body. So you may need to go do some lab work, some blood work, or blood panel or what have you. Learn your blood type. Also learn what's going on in your body, like what you're dealing with, because you may need to come up with how you should be eating. So based on my blood type, when I Google how should blood type O eat, and I read about it, I'm like, man, it's saying that based on my blood type, I should kind of limit certain things. But as I'm looking, I'm like, man, I love those. Like, I was tearing that up. But then that may explain why I feel a certain way in my body. And so also when you do this and you learn about yourself, you're going to learn your eating window. Like, can you eat from noon to 8 p.m.? Or do you need to eat from 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. So if you eat inside of an 8-hour window, and then you also are able to have like a no food list. When I say no food list, I mean like this week it may be no bread or no pasta or no rice. And you may limit those carbs, and you let your carbs come from your carbohydrates, you let it come from your fruit, because you're learning your body. So if you eating protein, whatever that may be, boiled eggs, fish, chicken, beef, whatever that is, because some people can't do red meat, and some people, their body thrive off of red meat. So it's not a one size fits all. I know with people like vegans and vegetarians and all that, they one size fits all. And to be honest with you, it only be a handful of them that have this, monolithic way of eating that are actually healthy. Some people end up dying from it. Some people end up emaciated, and just really, because when you cut out certain things, you have to be very diligent, and you got to really be educated on what you're doing if you want to be a vegetarian or what have you. And so I seen a clip about one famous vegetarian who died because she just wasn't balancing her nutrients right. And so you got to learn that type of stuff. I even heard a doctor who he does a 40-day fast. They lead a 40-day fast at the clinic, but he doesn't believe in meat. And he was talking about how they have to find stuff, a certain combination of things and supplements to replace the protein that you would get from meat. And so it kind of shows that when you take certain things out, you got to really pay attention to your body, and you can't just get caught up with Instagram and YouTube dietitians who don't know your blood type, who don't know your health and what all of that stuff looks like. So you could plan your meals as well. And the other thing that you want to do is, as you're going through your day, in order to fortify your spirit, you have to realize that you have intake. So intake and then output. So your intake is who you talk to, what you listen to, and what you watch, and what you eat, what you drink. So if you have bad intake, let's say you go eat the 25 ingredient fried chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. That is not healthy intake. You had a Coca-Cola with it, some French fries with it. It's very bad intake, although it may be under your daily calories. So now you may need to offset that or just forego it. Now, I believe in living and doing things in moderation, because a lot of times you too strict. We all got to die anyways. So it's not like you have to be this religious nut, this health freak. Like it's okay to do things in moderation, but you just have to, if you have a Chick-fil-A meal, then you can't have Oreos and chocolate chip cookies and cakes and Twinkies and all of that in that same day. The rest of that day may need to be a fasting. You may need to be fasting, and you may need to drink a half a gallon of water to a gallon of water based on your body weight to kind of help flush your system and kind of, cleanse some of those things. You're not going to die from any one thing, so don't get caught up in that stuff. But then also, what are you watching? Like YouTube will show me what my subscribers watch on the YouTube studio to say your subscribers also watch this and this and this. And some of the stuff I be saying, it'd be very toxic stuff. And I'm like, so if you come and you watch something like this that edifies your spirit, that feeds your spirit, and then you go watch something from the red pill community, that's kind of like drinking a Coke and eating a bucket of fried chicken while you're on the treadmill. That's what you just did. So you have to develop the self-discipline to not intake things that doesn't move your life forward or do something beneficial for your mind, spirit, or body. And that's going to be hard to take control of, because you've been feeding yourself like this in whatever area it is, what you watch and listen to, or what you eat, what you do and don't do with your body. You've been doing this stuff for so long that your spirit is junky. And when you have a junky spirit, a messy spirit, a depressed spirit, or whatever type of spirit, you need certain things. So you may crave sugar. You may crave drama and pettiness from reality TV shows and YouTube channels. And you crave this stuff and you get a high from it because you have a messy and filthy and junky spirit. It's kind of like when you eat bad. When you eat bad, the body starts to crave more sugar or whatever it may be. Alcohol, nicotine, what have you, marijuana, pornography, masturbation. Like your body will crave junky and messy things. But have you ever just drank water to where that's the only thing you drank? You didn't drink any sodas, any juices, nothing like that. You just drank water. If you ever do that, you'll start to notice that if there comes a day that you have less water, you feel thirsty and your body is craving water. And if you ever go without soda for like a week, 2 weeks, a month, the next time you drink soda, it's like it hurts your stomach pretty bad. It hurts your throat pretty bad. And it's just like, ugh, I don't need this. And it's because you cut that out. So anything that you feed, mind, body, or spirit, it gets stronger, like it gets bigger. So if you're feeding yourself with pure things and healthy things, then you're strengthening that part of your life and you're going to get stronger and better in that area. If you're feeding yourself with things that are unhealthy, then you're going to crave more of those things. So it's some people who they just crave salad. And to some of us, craving salad sounds absolutely insane. It's like you you really need a straitjacket and to be put in somebody's asylum if you crave salad. That's how some of us look at that. And it's just one of those things. But you also have to listen to your body, because your body will tell you what you need. Your body, which is your mind, may say you need to read your Bible, like you need to pray, like you need to sit in stillness, and you need to just clear your mind. You need a salad, you need some water, you need some protein, you need some fiber, you need some magnesium. Like you will feel it in your body just based on, once you give your body a healthy, balanced diet. When I say healthy, balanced diet, I'm not just talking about what you eat and drink. You also have a mental and spiritual diet. You also have a social diet. So who are you hanging around? And you have to take inventory, and you kind of got to get to the place to where you're getting a little distant, to where you start to get a little distant and you start to kind of pull back from certain people. Like I have a family member that I love, and they reached out to me, but they always on an emotional roller coaster, and they always like fake nice, and then they'll ask me for something, and if I say no, then I'm the worst family member in the world. I'm the worst person in the world. So when that family member hit me up, I just stopped answering. And then after ignoring like 10 messages, I wrote the family member back and I said, hey, I love you to no end, but you need to get help and you need to heal, because at the level that I operate in my life spiritually, I have too much on my shoulders to have anybody in my life that brings stress or drama or whatever. I only could deal with people who bring peace. So when you get some help and when you grow and you change, I don't mind communicating with you. And this is my blood family. And that's just a boundary that I set. I had a guy today write me, was like, hey, Tony, I want to talk to you about this opportunity. And I wrote him, I said, hey, fortunately, I don't have room for any new opportunities. And now that's what I would tell him, even if it was about like an opportunity, investment opportunity he was talking about. But ironically, he was talking about a fake account that's been writing him as Tony A. Gaskins Jr. about to get some money off of him. And he took it out of the Facebook Messenger and was texting me directly because he happens to work for me, like do work around my house. And I don't know, somehow, maybe because, I don't know, maybe he's friends with me on Facebook or something, that somebody added him. So if anybody in your DMs as me talking to you, that's just a random sidebar about a donation, you being scammed, or investment, you being scammed, because I would never talk to you in your DMs and try to get money from you in the Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, or what have you. So I hit him back. I'm like, bro, that is not me. And I'm hoping he didn't give the money. He was telling the scammer that he was gonna start with $200. I'm hoping he ain't sending that money, because I'm like, whoa. Because after I told him it was not me, he didn't say nothing else. So I need to check on that. So this is what you want to do, because here's the thing. We live so messy and we live so toxic. It is terrible how we live. And it's just, what I am noticing is so many women are obsessive and losing their minds, and just very like OCD, just conspiracy theorists, super scared, like just walking in fear, like more women than I have ever seen before. I don't see the same thing on a lot of men, because one of the things that men do, even overweight men, is work out. And when you work out, it's so much that happens from your brain into your bloodstream that is beneficial for your life. Like I actually, my neurosurgeon told me that the only thing that really regenerates the brain is exercise. So and what I notice is that majority of women, and especially black women, do not exercise. And when you don't exercise, your brain literally starts to deteriorate. And when your brain starts to deteriorate, different parts of your personality changes. So you become more temperamental, more fearful, more obsessive, more scared, more controlling, more everything. Like it just gets bad. It gets bad. And and I have to, unfortunately, my audience on YouTube is 95% women. And to be frank with you, that is a living nightmare, because I don't have any stress or problems with my wife, but I have to deal with the mood swings and the attitudes and the fear mongering of thousands of women. And it is the hardest thing in the world. That a lot. And so that's why I'm finna be making these videos on how to better your life, how to fortify your spirit, how to strengthen your mind, how to change your life so that y'all could stop stressing me and bringing and dumping all of your trauma on me. And because I don't want to be anybody's spiritual husband. I don't want to be anybody's spiritual, not even, I ain't gonna say spiritual husband, but I don't want to be your spiritual trash can, to where you in the email. Like, if you want to do a one-on-one session, for one, I posted the link to the Blessed Tribe and to the Patreon, because it's 50%. I get them a 50% discount. So if you're not in the Blessed Tribe or on my Patreon, then you don't get that link. I'd rather have an hour conversation with you than to be my inbox be flooded with a bunch of trauma response emails, a bunch of fearful emails. It's like, go to mymentor.life. If you're not on one of those other things to get the 50% off, mymentor.life is not 50% off, it's the full price. But go there and book you a session where you could talk for a whole hour versus just dumping all that trauma and fear and anger and frustration in my inbox, because I still have to go through the stuff to clear it out. Man, it just be crazy. Just the attitudes, people be done made a mistake. Women be done made a mistake and blaming me for the mistake. They'll go to they will go to my academy. There's women who go to my academy, sign up for a course, be done paid $9.30 for a course like it is right now, not realizing that their prophetess is selling the same course for $2,000. And then they will be moving too fast and put .com. They'll put they email littlebrownnbooty@gmail.com instead of .com. And then will write in, because they've been watching all of this red pill content, and because they've been watching all of this stuff about relationship coach scammers, they will write in flipping off the handle. I bought this course and I cannot access this course. I need my course right now. If you can't give me access to the course, give me my money back. And not having any knowledge about learning management software, no knowledge about coding, no knowledge about software, but yet buying online courses and then writing in accusing me of scamming them because they have a typo in their email. And then when I write them back that the reason you can't get into your account is because you had .com instead of .com, or instead of having Tony Gaskins at gmail.com, like your name at gmail.com, you got Little Phenomenal Queenship Ministries at hotmail.com. It's like you have 90 letters in your email. You're going to have a 99% chance of a typo. So now they write in screaming and hollering, going off, calling me this kind of relationship coach, and they prophetess warned them about me and about us who do this. And then when I write them, you had a typo in your email, they write back, oh, sorry about that. After them ran my blood pressure up, because one thing I don't do is scam people. I ain't got to take nothing from nobody. God done blessed me above and beyond. And then, I mean, just be writing in with such a sense of entitlement, taking out their anger and their frustration from not having a daily routine, from not working on the 3 B's, brains, brand, body, and just be flipping off a handle. Then my mentor.life, every day somebody write in to cancel their account because they cannot afford $20 a month to build their coaching business. There is not a business in this world that you can build for $20 a month. I made this $20 a month, but do you know there are so many people who can't afford $20 a month? The reason being is because they don't have a daily plan. They're not getting new knowledge every day. They're not working on themselves every day. When you walk for 30 minutes, if you only walk for 30 minutes, I recommend lifting weights. Unless you have like a bad back and things like that, you should be lifting because that's what really builds the body. Cardio really doesn't do enough for you. It does something for you, but not enough. You should be getting some curls, some dumbbells, doing squats, lifting your body weight, doing push-ups, things of that nature, like really like lift weights, even if it's just your body weight. But then you can move to some weights, even if it's 5-10 pounds, and do a lot of reps. But you're going to see your body composition start to change, especially if you're drinking only water and then you eating a good amount of protein. You're going to see your body composition start to change. You're going to shed a lot of weight. But what you're going to get is mental clarity. And with that mental clarity, you're going to be able to be more of the fruits of the spirit. You're going to be more patient. You're going to be more calm. You're going to seek to understand, then be understood. You're not going to be as entitled. You're not going to be going off. There's a lot of people who are skinny and out of shape. It's not just about your body type. That's why some of y'all prophetess are actually petite or slim and yet still have a very nasty spirit because they're not taking care of their mind. And so you have to take care of your mind. And once you start doing this, so it's people, they'll write in and they'll be like, hey, I canceled my account, but I'm still being charged. And it's because they created 2 or 3 accounts because they came and they signed up. They didn't finish the process. They come and they sign up again in 2 months. So now they got 2 accounts. The account they sign up on, there's no money in the account, so it gets rejected. Now they create another account and then they write in and they accuse my mentor.life of scamming them when we don't have anybody's card number, can't charge nobody card, nothing. But they went and created 2 or 3 accounts. I done seen some black women, is mainly who I be having to deal with, and be having 3 accounts. And I'm like, listen, pause, like ask somebody, like get some help, like learn, how, like Google, how does learning management software work? How does software work? What is this? Google this stuff, get knowledge daily. And so when you take and you give your day direction and you fortifying your spirit because you learning, you healing, you growing, and you doing daily work. See, the thing about it is what we do, and I was a part of the same situation. We just go through our days without a plan. We just wake up and we stumble to work. We stumble through work. We stumble home. And we don't have anywhere that we can go to that day planner or go to that calendar and look at that day planner, look at that calendar and see, okay, at 6 a.m., I'm supposed to be doing this. At 6:15, I'm supposed to be doing this. At 6:30, I'm supposed to be doing this. If we get an emergency phone call and we on that phone call and we handle that phone call and that phone call go 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, we should be able to hang up that phone call, go right back to our planner and see, okay, what did I miss? All right, do I absolutely need to make sure I fit that in today, or can I just move this to tomorrow because life happened? And then where do I need to be doing next? And instead of doing that, that emergency phone call throw us all off our day. And then we end up getting nothing done because we had nothing written down. So you gotta have it written down. so you can jump back to it, unless you just got one of them type of crazy minds to where it's just like a computer and everything just laid out and you just can run through your head and you know your whole schedule inside and out. You know it like your shoe size, like your phone number, like your address. You know it on that level. Then okay, different, you know, you're a special breed, but don't pride yourself on that, because if you have that type of mind and you write it down, oh, you're gonna be 10 times more dangerous out here. Like you gonna really get stuff done. And so this is what we have to realize. So when you set a daily goal and you know what you need to do every day. So like right now, I try to focus on a streak of doing videos, to be consistent with my videos, because I kick back, because YouTube is not a large part of my income. So if I take a day off, like if I felt like taking the day off, if I take this day off, then that's going to roll into tomorrow being took off, then the next day being taken off. So I just try to take and carve out the time and say, listen, I got some time. What else I got to do right now? Nothing but sit down and watch TV. I'm about to get my playlist of movies. I have to cancel my coaching calls this week just because I need to be flexible and able to move around and dealing with the power and stuff because of the hurricane. But if I'm at home and I got a little bit of time, still got a little bit of power, got a little bit of battery, then I'm able to just shoot a video, help thousands of people, and just pause my one-on-ones this week because of what we got the weather this week. And then I may have to fly out at the end of the week with my family for my oldest son, for our oldest son. So I had to shift stuff to next week. It's going to put more on me next week. But guess what? Life happens. So because life happens, I have to next week, some days may have to coach 6 people to 8 people because I'm having to reschedule from this week. But some of the people, it's not pressing, so they'll just reschedule for later in the year, and it'll buy me some time. And then you got some people who, their personality and the way they build set up, they're like, listen, I had the money when I signed up, ain't got the money no more. I need a refund. Okay, boom, got to process that because I had to move it around. So when you are mentally healthy and you've been exercising, you've been eating right, and then also when you eat, give your body enough time to digest and process so that you're not piling too much in your system, because that also leads to brain fog. And when you have brain fog, you're going to be temperamental. You're going to be more temperamental, and you're going to be more stressed. You're going to be high strung, and things are going to be tough on you. But when you give your body time, so here's the thing. When you eat, you need to eat a meal that is a balanced meal, that you have the nutrients. That meal has the nutrients that you need. When you have them nutrients, you need to let all of that process and turn into energy. And you need to literally be hungry the next time you eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat in 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours just because you think it's time to eat if you're not hungry. Because if you're not hungry, that's your body telling you that you don't need 3 meals a day. Some people, blood type in their body, may need 1 big, fully balanced meal a day. Some people gonna need 2, some people gonna need 3, some will need 4 or 5. But the 4 or 5, it may be smaller. Now, if you actually getting bigger and you gaining weight, now you know you're overeating. But if you can eat big meals or eat a lot and stay the same size and not have health issues because you're eating healthy, then you know your body is built different. And if you're eating junk and you're not gaining weight, now what you know is it's going to catch up to you later and you're going to die a miserable death. But you just got genetics and a fast metabolism that is not catching up with you right now, but it's eventually, when that metabolism slows down, it's going to eat you alive from the inside out. So you have to learn yourself. You got to know yourself. If you know that you struggle with fear and worry, then don't watch the news. Find an accountability partner who knows how to speak your language, and they will tell you what's going on in the world in a way that doesn't stoke fear. You're able to just listen and talk to them and get that insight. If you know that you are feeling very lonely Don't listen to R&B music or country music or a type of music that talks about like love sick stories. Like listen to gospel music. If you know that you struggling and you going through and gospel music has too much pain in it, then listen to contemporary Christian music. Put Christian music. And what you'll notice is a lot of times what I have noticed, and a lot of people get mad about this truth, but what I have noticed, the white artists, a lot of times their songs are more joyful because just in day-to-day life, a white musician oftentimes comes from a two-parent household, a well-to-do family, and that's how they do music. Whereas for black people, a lot of times our music is what gets us out of poverty. And so a lot of black artists, their music it's a bunch of noise, but it's not a lot of lyrics. It's almost like they crying out to God. Whereas a lot of the white people, their songs may have like a book of lyrics. Like it may be a whole bunch of lyrics. There are some black songs like that, but it's just not as many. And so like Tamala Man, take me to the King. I don't. So when you sitting there listening to Tamala Man, and like sometimes even Tasha Cobbs and some of her music like that, Jacqueline Hawthorne or whatever her name, a lot of their music, it's like, and then sometimes you listening to like a lot of the white singers, male singers that you listen to, when you look at them, you really don't feel no femininity on them. Like they playing a guitar or what have you. But a lot of the black artists come out of trauma, like Kurt Franklin, and he doing the shimmy and gyrating and coming with a lot of femininity. And then a lot of the men they got a lot of femininity on their spirit, because as we know in the black church, it's a lot of homosexuality in the choir and with the music director and with the artsy black men, because a lot of all the other black men are playing basketball and football and baseball and what have you, track and field, but the ones who they mom got them on the piano, got them in the choir, a lot of times they be in a different group and it be a lot of pedophilia and stuff going on. That's just the truth of the matter. So you have to listen to your spirit. So when I was going to my office and I was like, hey, Alexa, play gospel music. It'll start playing like a 50-50 playlist to where 50% of it is like climbing up the rough side of the mountain. And I'm not in that space in my life. And so I would feel a depression come over my spirit because the artist wrote this song in depression. And they wrote it like crying out to the Lord. And so I changed it and I said, hey, Alexa, play Christian music. And it started playing a different type of music, which is some black artists on there, but it's majority white artists. And it be more upbeat and it be more joy unto the Lord. And so I had to evaluate my spirit. And this is what I mean. You got to get to know yourself. And I'm just telling the honest truth that I have discovered. Get out your feelings. And because people, oh, you putting down black people. Oh, you picking on our trauma. Oh, I'm just speaking my truth, what I have discovered. And so it may be totally different for you. And you may be in that space to where you need that deep gospel crying out to the Lord music. But you have to know where you are. I'm not in that space. So know where you are and know what you struggle with. So if I know that I'm struggling with lust and that I can struggle and I can fall into sin if I'm staring at butt cheeks on a woman, then I'm not going to put on the reality TV show, Love Island, where it's a bunch of women running around. I probably have watched 5 minutes of it. That stuff, man, it's too low level for me. I cannot watch it. My wife can't watch it either. We try to turn it on and be about to throw up. It's just too low level. We just rather watch a scripted TV show that have a real plot or something. But if I struggle with lust, I'm not gonna go sit and watch a season of Love Island where all these women is in like practically like thong bikinis or tops with the breast all out and they oil down and they doing interviews in bikinis and all of that. Cause I could just flipping through Netflix, I can see, and the same thing if you're a single woman and you really desperate for a relationship and you've been struggling with masturbation, don't go watch a show where the men gonna have their shirt off, oil down with abs and pecs bouncing for an hour, because that's gonna send you into lust, and then you're gonna want to touch on yourself when you're trying to come out of that spirit, vice versa, male and female. So that's what I mean by know yourself. If you know that you struggle with like worry and anxiety, then you have to cut off that family member or that friend who always is doom and gloom, who always like, we live in Florida and it's a hurricane coming to Florida, and so many people are like checking in with me and my wife. Well, 90% of them don't really care. But what humans like to do is humans like to swim in your misery or swim in your pain. Because if you struggle with stress, worry, anxiety, compulsive disorder, I got 20% battery left. So y'all forgive me on that. I got no charging here. If you struggle with any of those things and somebody come and talk to you, they'll put a lot of stress and fear on you, and you go to worrying and you're dealing with that alone now when you get off the phone with them. But they did that to you so that they could feel better about their life. And it's sadistic, but it's a true thing that misery loves company. And that's where that quote comes from. So you have to be mindful of that and just kind of, pull back. And I was talking to one of my NBA guys, and who I spoke to his rookie class. He came in the league in 2012 and we still keep in touch to this day. And I wrote him and I was like, bro, sometimes you don't be responding to text message. How do you deal with all the text messages that come in? And when you don't answer, when you in a season of not answering your messages. And he responded to me, he said, I know that majority of the people that write me don't really care about how I'm actually doing. So I don't feel a need to respond to text all the time. And I was like, that's real, because that's true. A lot of times we really don't really care about what somebody else got going on. And if you somebody who really actually cares, and so me and my wife was joking, like, all these people reaching out, hey, I hope you well in the storm. She was like, yeah, write them back and say that we need $3,000 for some shutters or something, and then see what they say to see if they really care. If they be like, okay, I'm gonna throw $100 in the pot to that, I'm gonna throw $20 into, or they just checking in, because what is the text gonna do if I actually need something? So now the text is just making me think about it more and making me worry more. Now, it don't do that to us, and we don't take offense to it. I'm just using it as an example because there's some people right now freaking out and they just going crazy. But because we know the Lord and we have a peace that passes all understanding, we don't worry about what we can't control. Like, whatever happens, happens. Even if the Lord call us home, we know we going on to glory to spend eternity with the Lord. So we don't freak out. We don't worry. But some people are like that. So imagine the people that's like that, and they getting texts from all their friends, family, high school classmates they ain't heard from in 20 years, college classmates. Hey, I hope everything is okay in Florida. I hope everything goes well. But ain't nobody sending $1. Ain't nobody sending them no money to help them get water, help them get wood for their windows, help them get nothing. Just sending a text message to have them thinking and worrying and stressing. So when you learn yourself and you know yourself, then you know what conversations to entertain and what not to entertain. You know what TV shows not to entertain, what music not to entertain, what people not to entertain, what YouTube channels and podcasts and Instagram not to entertain. It's been really blessing my spirit to read from the people who are writing about all of the unfollows that they're doing, unfollowing these prophetess who are into this witchcraft but calling it the work of God, unfollowing these fornicating podcasters, unfollowing these fornicating YouTubers, these scammers and liars and different people. Like, it's been a blessing to see people wake up and really see through the mess and stop just being fed any old and everything. Now, guess what? I lose subscribers and followers as well for telling the truth, because the truth from God is going to offend people, demonic spirits. It's going to offend some spirits who are not where they need to be and they can't see clearly. It's going to offend those spirits. And so I'm understanding of that. I realize that, and I don't get caught up in it. I don't lose sleep over losing subscribers or followers or what have you, because again, that's something that's not in my control. All I could do is bring the truth. And I love that, because when you set boundaries and you operate in truth and you prioritize you and you prioritize your peace, and prioritizing you is prioritizing the work of the Lord through you. Prioritizing your peace is prioritizing the fruits of the Spirit. So when you set boundaries and you learn how to say no, and you learn how to say not right now, and you learn how to say I'll pass, you will start to shed the excess weight. The same thing to what you eat and what you drink, what you watch, what you listen to, who you hang with, who you talking to, who you sleeping with, who you doing this and that with. When you start to trim those things, you're going to become lean. You're going to become fit. You're going to become muscular, mind, body, and spirit. Not just talking about physical now, mind, body, and spirit. And then when you do that, guess what? Your endurance builds. So now you are what we call conditioned. So now you're conditioned to run the race that has been placed before you. But if you're not eating right, you're not going to be able to think right. And if you ain't eating right and thinking right, you're not going to sleep right. Now you're not going to learn right. You're not going to grow right. You're not going to act right. Like, everything affects everything, in the words of Zig Ziglar. Everything affects everything. So you have to check your input, because your input will determine your output. And in the Zig Ziglar quote, your input determines your output, and your output will determine your income. So if you're learning new knowledge, you're learning new skills, you're getting new information, now you're going to create more. So like right now, I'm creating another company. I'm creating another company because of my input. And this is a fintech company, financial technology. So now I'm going into the fintech space. And I may do a fundraise for it. I may not. But I'm going to start it. I'm going to build it. When it's done, it's going to cost me out of my pocket $20,000, $30,000 probably. But after I've invested in myself, I'm then going to come to you and say, hey, sign up on my site. It's $97 a year or $9.99 a year, whatever it may be. But I'm going to let my wife choose the price. Sign up on my site and use this site for this particular reason that I created. I made it for myself, but maybe you can benefit from it as well. And so I'm able to think about that idea because I fast. Every day I fast for probably at least 12 hours that I will fast with no food. I may have liquids, which may be water, it may be coffee, it may be like electrolyte water or something like that, but no sugar. In that fast, is no sugar in that fast. Even if I have liquids, I'm not having sugar. So, and then when I eat, I do my best to eat healthy. If I eat something that's not that healthy, now I go right back into, I flush with water and I go right back into a fast to let my body purge that instead of dumping more food on top of my digestive system. So I want you to start thinking about this, and we're going to be able to break down and tackle different parts of this as we going forward. So not everything on here is love and relationship. Not everything on here is about exposing the fakes of spiritual warfare. This is a life coaching channel. This is a self-development channel. This is not a gossip channel. So if you came over here thinking you just finna hear me, ripping all these fake people a new one every video, and you come on here because your spirit is messy and you want to be in some mess, then you're on the wrong page. This is about healing. This is about growing. This is about learning. This is about stretching, minus the witchcraft and the seance and the sorcery and the law of attraction and the manifestation spells and all of that stuff. Minus all of that. We ain't doing none of that. This is practical tools that you could write down and you could implement a plan. You're going to get real growth in your life if you do the stuff that we discuss on this channel. If you're an investor in the channel, if you're not, it's already closed. If you're an investor, they told me they're waiting on 4 transactions, people who the thing didn't go through and they gave them a chance to resubmit. So it's about to close this week for those people not open to new people, because with the SEC, we'll have to refile and all of that. If you invest on the channel, then you need to be letting these videos play all the way through. And if I ain't did another new video, when you come to check back, let the last one play through again and again. You know why? Because you reaping in the reward of the channel based on the percentage that you invested. Now, you got to understand, those were small percentages, because if it was like 1% and I'm giving away 20%, then only 20 people would have been able to buy it. So 1% was broken down into smaller pieces so that more people could be a part. So I think they said we have I think it's like over 700 people. That it could be over 900. I can't remember. No, I think it's over 900 maybe. I can't remember the exact number, but they're going to give it to me here soon. But so we got like 900 people or something, 700 to 900 people that is now investors in the channel. And the payouts will start in this October, in November. So they'll give you information on how to set up your wallet to receive it. And then from that wallet, you're able to transfer it to your account. So the wallet I use is called Coinbase, and Coinbase. They got an app. You create an account. And that started in November, and that'll be for the rest of the life of the channel, which the channel ain't going nowhere. Unless when the secondary market open up, you sell what your investment for whatever it's going for at that point, unless you sell it. Which I may come to a point where everybody who want to sell, if the Lord have me in a position, I may just buy it back. And then if I end up buying it all back, then I'll be able to just reshift the money from going to the escrow account back to my account. But it'll be going to an escrow account. So you are in the number, and I thank you. They might talk me into selling 10% more, but I have to think on it, pray on it, talk to my wife about it, and we'll see. If so, it might be like, next year, probably during tax time or something like that, where people are okay and they got a little bit of breathing room or something. But I'll think about it. I don't know if I'm gonna do that though. I right now I ain't feeling it in my spirit, but I'm gonna see what it looked like. But hey, God bless you. I'm finna get on up out of here. My phone about to die. And of course, when I could sit down and teach, this gonna be hour-long teachings. And what I want you to realize and process, like, this ain't just an hour or just sitting here, just shooting the breeze. No, if you implement this stuff in your life, you're going to see changes. It will be incrementally, it will be gradually, but you're going to see changes. Because think about it. We don't even get an hour of teaching in church. And if we do have an hour sermon, a lot of pastors just blowing smoke. It ain't even practical stuff that we could take and apply to our life to better our life. It's just a bunch of crazy metaphors. I was looking at this thing where they were showing the pastor out there in Oklahoma, the young black brother, he just out there just doing a bunch of skits. It's like, bro, by the time you finish this whole elaborate thing, I don't even know what you was talking about no more. Like, just read the word, man. Just read the Holy Bible. Let me get on up out of here with the word. Something I could go apply to my life. Like all this right here, extra stuff that you learn in seminary school, man. I'm not no child. Like, you don't have to do all these different demonstrations and all this different stuff. Like, bruh. And then they showed a clip where the pastor talking about he hates studying the word of God. This is y'all Pastor Mike Todd that some of y'all be worshiping. He talking about he hates it. My chin hit my foot. And that confirmed to me right there that he working for Satan. That's why he's so effeminate in the pulpit. That's why he's so extra, so feminine, and do all of these theatrics to where you forget the point of the word. And the only people who enjoy it is people who come to be entertained, not people who come to learn and grow. Because the truth of the word actually gonna hurt and convict your spirit more often than not entertain you. And then when he said that he does what he don't feel like doing, he start on Wednesday, from Wednesday up to Sunday, studying. And it's like, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, and talking about he hates it, studying the word of God. I say, that's crazy. That is crazy. So if you hate it, that let me know that is a demon studying scripture. Because it's not the Holy Spirit. It's impossible for the Holy Spirit to hate itself, to hate the word of God. That was everything I needed to hear. That was everything I needed to hear. A young man put it on his channel and exposed it. That was everything I needed to hear. I would never in my life watch a sermon from Mike Todd. Never in my life. I would never in my life be able to collaborate with him, work with him, any of that. Just off of hearing it, unless he repent. And I talk to him and I see what he done repented to the error of his ways, and he done grown, he done changed. But this is what we got out here as mega pastors. This is who have the world in a chokehold. Men who not even working for God, and women who not even working for God. And then we got the women, and a lot of the women are masculine. They either masculine or got a Jezebel spirit. You really don't see a woman preacher who isn't masculine or with a Jezebel spirit. And the ones who don't have those spirits, they don't have an audience. The world don't want to hear it because they're not there to entertain. They there to actually teach the word. And it's just wild out here. So we listen, we coming up out that wild, wild west. We going to the promised land. Over here, we growing. And we growing financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. We're going to grow in every area of life. Lives going to be changed. And I intentionally am bringing a hard word to make people unsubscribe. I'm not trying to pull the Joe Osteen, get as many people as I could get, the Andy Stanley, get as many people as I could get. I just seen one brother expose Andy Stanley for having a gay conference. He had a conference for gays, and he had gay ministers. He had gay speakers, homosexual speakers, because he want to grow his church. But he want to give homosexuals a platform in the church. Andy Stanley now, the one who people used to refer to me about his love and relationship teaching. Now he done came out the closet. Because for him to be a man of God, a so-called man of God, and to be gay affirming, instead of you know talking to that spirit and talking to that spirit about being renewed, that let me know he must be into it himself, either on video and bothering touching himself, or got him a little secret butt buddy. Because that's the only way you can do it. Because even a non-religious heterosexual man not finna be gay affirming, in the sense of like trying to create this type of platform and all this space. Is more so like, hey, live your life, but do that over there. Like, don't come over here with that. Like, God bless you, keep your head up. More power to you, but over there, don't come over here with that. Because you got lust in your spirit, and I don't want you over here lusting after my booty. So over there, Playboy, keep your head up now. God bless, keep your head up. Oh, well, you letting the lesbian come over there by you? Well, for one, she not by me, and then two, she don't want nothing to do with me. She don't want now part of my body. So I'm paying less attention to her. But you're trying to enter or exit. Stay over there, Playboy. Hey, keep your head up now. Keep going. The Lord love you and hate the sin. Get that sin out your life now. Keep going. And it's telling he trying to do gay conferences. And so now you see men who were like giants in the faith. TD Jakes, they say he got 2 gay sons. And they calling him a power bottle. Giants in the faith are now being turned out by sexually immoral spirits, hanging around sexually immoral men. So over here, we're not getting into none of that foolishness. Like you're not finna see me on here giving no platform to demonic spirits and different little stuff. We're not gonna be able to do it. We're not gonna be able to do it. So hey, this Tony Gaston, God bless you. Keep your head up. Listen, you're gonna have to buckle up over here. And if you get offended, if you don't want to get blocked, then keep the stupidness out the comments and just sit there and sit with it and check that offense. Sit and deal with that offense and hear what really is offending you. What is really offending you? Listen to it 2-3 times just to really see what part of your spirit is offended. And then and if you offended and all of that, listen, I do not mind you unsubscribing. I don't care nothing about numbers. I care about the work of the Lord. That people think that they have power because they have to click subscribe or follow. You got power with workers of iniquity who care about those things. Those of us who work for God don't care about numbers because we know that many are called and few are chosen. We know the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. We know that everybody will not enter the kingdom of heaven. So those of us who truly work for God, that's why you never hear me say hit the subscribe button. That's why you never hear me say, you hear the moderator say it, but you never hear me say hit the like button. I don't care about the numbers. Yeah, I see the numbers. I watch the numbers, but I don't lose sleep over it because I know that God is going to send me who he has for me to reach. There's a lot of people that's following fake prophetess, and then they coming over here and they hearing my message and it's convicting them. No, it's offending them. And then they trying to take up for their fake prophetess. And I'm like, well, why are you over here? If you listen to a fake prophetess, why are you over here? It must be God trying to give you a message of balance. Because how can we work for the same God if I'm speaking against them? So now that's a line in the sand, and you're going to have to choose who you think really is hearing from God. And if you think I'm hearing from a false God or for a demon, God bless you. I don't want you over here. I don't want you over here messing up what we trying to do over here, because we trying to do the work of the Lord. And so if you think that these false prophets that I'm calling out and these false podcasters and pastors that I'm calling out, if you think they the real deal, go right on over there. God bless you. Please shut up and exit stage left. Don't be over here in my comments trying to mess up the work that we trying to do to grow mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, the healing work that we trying to do without all that yelling, without all that begging for money, without all that wishing death on people. If you think that that's right and all that, let's talk about, Tony, you know God answered with fire. Yeah, in Sodom and Gomorrah, where he answered with fire after his son died, after Jesus died on the cross. So she was trying to justify these prophets speaking death over people. It's like, listen, they ain't got that kind of power. They ain't got no power to speak no death on nobody. What the world are you talking about, man? Get out of here. Shut that mess up. Shut that mess up. We ain't trying to hear all that. We ain't trying, because I bring a hard, tough word, but I ain't speaking death on people. Like I bring a real word from the Lord, and it is confident and strong and bold, but I ain't speaking death on nobody now. That going too far there. That's going too far. Ain't none of us that special for God to kill somebody for us. God ain't your hitter, because he's a redeemer. So if these people want to repent, they want to change their life, and if they don't want to change their life, They're not in sin by speaking against false prophets anyways. God don't care nothing about them speaking against false prophets. And then who are we to think that we just all so holy and righteous and whole that can't nobody speak against us? So it's like, if somebody speak against me, more power to you. God bless you. Go on where you got to go. I'm not finna sit and argue and go back and forth with you. I'm going to just keep sharing the message of the Lord that he put on my heart. Point blank period. Hey, this Tony Gas. I said I was about to go many times. God bless you. We're going to talk soon now. Y'all keep it lifted in your prayers. But at the end of the day, I don't expect your prayers to change nothing, because what God has written, God has written. What's going to be is going to be. So, I don't worry about nothing I can't control. I'm going to be peace in the storm, peace before the storm, peace in the midst of the storm, peace after the storm. I trust the Lord. Whatever come may, be that as it may, I know who holds my eternity. So I don't be worrying about that kind of stuff. Regardless of what the news say, regardless of how bad it's going to be, you don't know what's going to happen, because I don't have the power to control what's going to happen. What's going to happen, going to happen. And so I'm going to love the Lord regardless. If he told me to start over like he told Job, I'll start over. If I lost my roof, if I lost whatever, if insurance didn't want to pay out, whatever happened. To God be the glory. Like, I don't be worried about it. Do not be worried about it in the least. It's kind of interesting to see. It's a lot of drama, a lot of terrible drivers in the street. But other than that, I don't feel an ounce of fear. It's more so curiosity of like, man, what is going to happen? Because we supposed to get a direct hit at category 3, and they say it was a category 1 that did Katrina, which that's hard to believe. So it's like you don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. They said supposed to hit Wednesday night through Thursday morning. So if I don't get on here then either my phone dead or the power out or something like that. But if the Sprinter's still standing and not flipped over, then if our power go out, we're gonna live in the Sprinter for a little bit till the power get back on. So I'll be filming from the Sprinter. But the lesson gonna go forward. The lesson, whatever lesson the Lord give me, it's going forward. If I got a way to get it out there, it's going forward. Even if I got to go live because it take too long to shoot and then load up, I go live. Even if I can only go live 5-10 minutes, the message going forward. Hey, so God bless you. Keep your head up. We out here. Yeah, we out here. The workers of the Lord. The harvest is plenty, the workers are few. We going. God bless you.